topics and opinions expressed in the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio or its employees or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Welcome to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV, where we bring you educational information from top local experts in the fields of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Now sit back and listen to experts in family law, association law, hearing loss, business brokers, home care, along with many other topics. Now here are your hosts, Steve-O and Sophia.
Hey, good morning, Philadelphia. Welcome, or should I say Pennsylvania, all of Pennsylvania. We are so excited about this morning's show. And this is a very personal show for me because I suffer from snoring. And when I say suffer, that relates to so many different areas. You don't want your partner telling you they couldn't sleep all night because you snored so loud. Sleep apnea is very, very dangerous. I have to sleep with what's called a CPAP machine. So when we decided that we were going to do a Stop Snoring show, we were able to find our guest, our expert, Janet Bennett. And it is, well, let me just put it this way to you. I've been sleeping with the CPAP machine for about 4 years. The most uncomfortable way to sleep. God did not make us to sleep with a mask on. And when we met Janet, she has developed techniques that will help you to stop snoring. And I got to tell you, I started it. I saw a difference. I then had to go into the hospital on a completely different matter. And it kind of slowed my progress down. But I got to tell you, her methods really work. Let me introduce you to our expert in Stop Snoring, Janet Bennett.
Good morning.
Good morning, Janet. And Janet's going to be with us again tomorrow morning for our our Atlanta show tomorrow morning. Too many markets. But Janet, I got to tell you that what you do is so important. Sleep apnea, I've done so much research on it. It's very dangerous. It's very bad for your health. And you have developed a technique that will literally make most people, we're never 100% on anything, stop snoring. And I actually tried it for almost 2 weeks before I had some health issues. And I'm going to tell you something, it was working. And we're going to start back up again on it this Monday. And I'm telling you, I'm hoping to get rid of my CPAP machine. Welcome, Janet. Tell us about your practice.
Okay, well, I am Janet Bennett. I'm a speech pathologist, and I've been in private practice for many years. A long time. And my life changed one day when I was treating a 14-year-old football player in my office. His problem was that he had a tongue thrust. Now, I don't know how many of you listeners or readers know what a tongue thrust is, but you've seen people with buck teeth or people with an open bite where their teeth won't close. The reason that happens is because when they swallow, they're starting their swallow off in the wrong place. They are letting their tongue push the back of their teeth or come between their teeth when they swallow. And so I was treating him for a tongue thrust. So I have a 7-week program, and he came to see me once a week. Well, he had been there twice. He came for his, "What are you doing to Adam?" And I said, "What do you mean?" And she said, "Well, he's always been the loudest snorer in the world." And she said, "He rattled our windows." And she said, "Now he's not making a sound." So I didn't know anything about snoring.
Unbelievable.
And so I'm talking to Adam, saying, "Adam, tell me more. What's going on?" And he said, "Well, it's true. I'm getting better grades in school. I can concentrate better, and I run faster." And that "I run faster" really got my attention. Like I said, the snoring I didn't know about. So I went home, didn't even have a computer in my office. That's how long ago it was. And I just knew that I was going to find that doctors or whoever treated snoring with tongue exercises, because that's what my program's all about, training the tongue, starting with the muscles at the tip and going all the way to the back. And we train the tongue to live on the roof of the mouth. And when you do that, it also forces you to nasal breathe. So 2 big things is we stop mouth breathing, stop doing that, and we put our tongue up on the roof of our mouth. So I just knew I was going to find that, but I did not. I was shocked to find the things that they were doing. They want to cut off your uvula, that thing that hangs down in the back, or maybe they'll break your jaw and pull it forward so that your airway's bigger, or they could make you a really expensive retainer to wear, maybe. I know there's one retainer they make. It's big, and it's got a hole right in the middle, at the front of it, and you literally put your tongue through that hole, and you sleep like that all night. So it's holding your tongue out so it can't go down and block your airway, because that's what causes the snoring, leading to the sleep apnea. So anyway, I thought that was a sign for me to take it on and save the world. Because how could I sit on this easy program? It's just tongue exercises. How could I not tell the world about it? Well, I know it's a tough task, but we've got to let everybody know that there is an easy way to do that. So I decided to find a lot of people who would be my guinea pigs so that they could help me write a exercise program that's easy to understand, because I thought the only way really to hit most of the people is to get it out on the internet so they can do it for themselves. And so I found 86 people. This was in 1993. I found 86 people all over the United States who said they would be my guinea pig, and they snored. They were all snorers. So they did the 7-week program with me. So every week, we didn't have Zoom. So every week I emailed them their lesson for that week, and then we had an appointment to talk on the phone one day or evening a week. And so it took me like 8 months to treat all 86 people. But at the end, 94% stopped snoring.
That's amazing.
It's huge. And
That is amazing.
a lot of other issues went away. Things I just had them fill out a form before they started the program, just kind of identifying any kind of physical problems they had or anything going on with them, like GERD or restless leg syndrome, or waking up with a dry mouth, or waking up with a headache, waking up and your sheets are all messy, meaning you're a restless sleeper, different things like that. And just about every symptom improved or went away. So it was very exciting. And so I now have my program, I have since 1994, had a program for adults and a program for children. I worked 1 year just with children, and 100% of the children stopped snoring. And one
That's
little
amazing.
girl told me, she came into my office and she said, "I know I've stopped snoring." And I said, "Well, how do you know that?" And she said, "Because my cat has come back to sleep with me now." And so it's
I
really fun
understand
to,
that.
I mean, there are so many telltale signs that you stop snoring, and the spouse, I might ask a spouse, well, has your husband stopped snoring? And she said, well, I don't know. I'm sleeping. So that tells us, well, he's probably stopped snoring because you can't
Yes.
hear him. But the biggest thing is that this program is available online. And what I've done is, I know that it's kind of mysterious to think about tongue exercises helping you to stop snoring, or helping, if you snore too long and you become a louder snorer and your mouth opens wider as the years go on, this can lead to sleep apnea, because when you snore, your tongue is blocking part of your airway. Okay. But as you get into it, and it becomes a real big habit, and your mouth opens more, your tongue can actually, the whole thing can just block the entire airway. And that's when you stop breathing, and your brain makes you wake up, hopefully, and go, you have to snort your way out, and
Yes.
that wakes you up. So if I can help people stop snoring, it makes sense to me that it can't possibly lead, with closed lips, they can't possibly lead to sleep apnea.
Well,
Okay.
you mentioned this uh, athlete who came in, and now he's sleeping better. He's making better grades, running faster. What happens with sleep apnea or snoring is you literally stop breathing,
Mm-hmm.
and your body kicks you back into gear again from the snoring. So now he's getting a much better night's sleep because he's sleeping through the night, which you do not do that when you have sleep apnea.
Right.
You wake up all hours of the night.
Right. And
So that is why he is doing so much better.
right.
And now that I've started using your techniques, first of all, they're very easy, Janet.
I know. I know.
They're so easy. And you are a huge help
Well, good.
walking people through the different steps.
Right. Okay. So let me tell you how I do that. First of all, the reason that football player was doing so much better so quickly is because he immediately stopped breathing through his mouth. When you breathe through your mouth, you get dirty, cold air. Okay. When you breathe through your nose, you get warm, clean air. And also, when you breathe through your nose, you are able to take advantage of a gas that our body makes. It's called nitric oxide. And that's made here in the sinus area. So if you breathe through your mouth, your body can't take advantage of that, can't have access, if you will, to that nitric oxide. So everything changes just by learning to breathe through your nose.
Yeah, I've been
Yeah.
wanting to ask you, um, gender wise, is it more male or more female that have snoring problems?
I really don't know. I mean, I really don't know. But it's every more than half the world does it.
I believe it. It's very, I got to tell you, it's very embarrassing. And they finally put me on a machine. But what I am so excited about with your program, and I love the fact you've never said it works for 100% of the people, but 94% is awfully good. I'll take that any day of the
I
week.
know. And some of these people still contact me today and let me know that, how grateful they are still, and they are doing super. But I did want to explain, over the years, I have changed my program a little bit. Not the
You
exercises, though,
tweaked
they're
it.
perfect. But the things that I've done are changes that will help people when they purchase the program, and it's very affordable. When you get the program, I want you to be confident that you will be getting everything you need to know how to do these exercises. And so here's what it's like now. Whenever you are contemplating, should I get these exercises? I do have a 60-day money back guarantee, so you're clear there. But what happens is you can request a 15-minute conference with me on Zoom. Okay. And I'll be glad to talk to you just to make you feel better that, yes, this is the program for you, or no, it's not the program for you. And then when you purchase the program, you can schedule with me a 45-minute lesson so that I can help evaluate you and get you started on the right road, if just to see what questions you have, or fears or anything like that. So I am there to help everybody whenever they need me. So that's huge.
Janet, I want people to understand that I myself knows what it's like to have to wear a mask to sleep in. And it is very, very uncomfortable, though it helps me to sleep. It's probably saved my
Right.
life. But just knowing now that there are techniques out there that are easy to learn,
Right.
that I've got a 94% chance that it's going to work on me and I can sleep for the rest of my life without a CPAP machine, just
Possible.
blows me away.
It's possible for sure. The other big thing that this program does is, before I tell you, a lot of people have a tongue that they think is way too big for their mouth. Okay. And sometimes a person can, when they stick out their tongue, they might see these little indentations all the way around the edge of their tongue. It's called scallops. We call it a scallop
Yeah.
tongue. And all that means is that your tongue is too wide. So when you squish it back in your mouth, the sides of it run into your teeth, and that's where the indentations come from. Okay. So it kind of really lets you know it's too wide. And a lot of people will bite the sides of their tongue because of that. So I had to come up with some way to make the tongue skinnier. I know that there's surgery out there who, and some doctors who will actually shave off the sides of your tongue, but that hurts just talking about it.
Yeah, really.
And so I wanted to figure out a way to make contact with those important lateral muscles on your tongue, the ones on the sides, to tickle them, wake them up, make them do this so that your tongue gets smaller. And so I couldn't find what I needed, but I invented my own tongue stick. It has two distinct ends, and it does two very important things. And I know it's weird, but I have a patent on it because that's how successful people are when they use it. And they use it to stroke their tongue, and they also learn how to make an isometric exercise between the stick and their tongue so they can make the tongue more toned and stronger. It's really quite remarkable what happens, because within hopefully just a couple of weeks, if the person does their exercises, they can say, my tongue feels different the way it's fitting in my mouth. And the reason we need to make it smaller is so it fits up there.
And again, I want to say it's so easy to do. And listen, if this show, and by the way, if you got friends that snore, family members that snore, they can go to iHeartRadio. iHeart has a huge library, and all they have to put in there is stop snoring. And you can actually have your friends or family members watch the show again. Same thing on Facebook, the same thing on YouTube. If you want to watch the show, you can actually send your friends or relatives to go back and review the show. It's always up there. So if you miss part of the show today, or if you've got a relative you want to make sure that they watch the show, folks, I got to tell you something that to me, this is so exciting what Janet has developed, because I know what it's like being the CPAP machine wearer, as well as having my wife tell me how loud I snore. And you know what? Janet, on these 2 weeks I did it, that was really successful.
Right.
I didn't find myself falling asleep.
That's right.
Watching TV.
Daytime sleepiness will go away because you'll be getting great sleep. I would like to add in, I know we don't have much time. I'm talking about stopping snoring, and I was talking about tongue thrust. And so the listeners may be a little confused, but people who snore, they breathe through their mouth.
Hmm.
And quite often, during the years that go by, the tongue, if it's not swallowing correctly, if it's not going to the right place, you can develop a tongue thrust. Okay, and a person who has a tongue thrust, here again, they mouth breathe and breathe through, mouth breathe, and they can't swallow correctly. And so that's why it's all grouped together, because when I treat someone with a tongue thrust, I also teach them how to breathe right, whether I want to or not. They're all
Right.
connected. Sleeping, breathing, swallowing. They're all connected. And so that's why you have to pay attention to all of it. But these exercises take care of all of those problems. You don't need anything else. So that's
I
great.
got to tell you, Janet, we haven't discussed this a lot, but before I did go on the CPAP machine, um, I got to tell you, I ordered a lot of these gimmicks online, and I'm going to call them gimmicks because not one of them worked. Not one of them. The tape across the nose. I mean, I can't tell you the amount of money I spent um, on these items that never worked. The only thing that's worked for me is the CPAP machine. But again, I got to wear a mask to sleep in, and it's so uncomfortable. So, what I'm so excited about your program is I actually have better luck than I think a lot of your patients did, because I start noticing results after 1 week.
It can happen. You just have to do your
It,
exercises 2 times a day.
yes, I did them every day.
Yeah,
But you know what? When you hear, you know, your wife's mind or her voice inside going, "You got to stop snoring," man, it just motivates you
I
to
know.
want to do this.
And that reminds me of a commercial I saw on TV. This woman is accusing her husband of sounding like a rhino or something like that. And and he says, "You've never heard a rhino." And she said, "I hear it every night." And he said, "Okay, I'll work on it." And and right there I think, well, he's going to work on it. What's he going to do to work on it?
Yeah,
How is
right.
he going to work on it? How is a person going to work on stopping snoring by themselves with no help? It's probably going to be pretty difficult. And just learning a few exercises, where to keep your tongue while you sleep and while you swallow, it's all you need.
Well, again, this is very, it could be detrimental to your health. That's why you've
Right.
got dentists out there putting mechanics together to stop
Right.
snoring. You've got internists. You got all these ads on TV telling you how to stop snoring. But I got to tell you, there's only two things that work, and that's the CPAP machine. If you want to wear a mask over your face for the rest of your life, that's up to you. But you have got nothing to lose
That's
by
right.
just trying Janet's program, and she's going to hold your hand through it.
Right.
That's what's so good. And just think, if you got a chance of something working and you don't have to do the CPAP machine anymore, oh my God, that is godsend.
Right. And
So I'm looking forward to getting back on the horse again because it did work for me.
right. Okay.
And
Let me
go
interject
ahead.
if I may. Right now, because I know we're going to be ending soon. Right now, I would love it if you would email me at author, AUTHOR, at IJustWantToSleep.com. I will answer every question you send to me. And I won't, if you're sitting there wondering if this could be for you or not, think about these few things. Do you wake up with a dry mouth? Do you wake up with a headache? Do you wake up with a sore throat sometimes? Do
Hmm.
you get sleepy during the daytime? Do you grind your teeth? Do you have
Yes.
uh, clench your teeth? And when you're doing that, it means that you're not lined up. When you train your tongue to live up there, it aligns your cranial bones. Okay, so then you don't have a reason to grind, and teeth grinding usually will stop. So I just want you to think about those things. You don't have to continue to wake up wishing you could just sleep for 5 more minutes.
Let's give everybody your email address again and phone number.
Okay, it's author, AUTHOR, at ijustwanttosleep.com. And the phone number is 828-273-9888. I look forward to talking to you.
Janet, thank you so much. And if you're in the, let's see, tomorrow is Wednesday. If you're in the Atlanta area, Janet will be doing her show again tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And again, you can get this off of YouTube or iHeart. Janet, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
And we will see you soon.
Okay.
That's Janet Bennett. And then we'll be back with you again next week at this time with more experts in the fields of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you soon.
Thanks for tuning in today to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV. Tune in next week and every week to hear more from our experts on personal injury, insurance, air condition repairs, estate planning, Medicare, and many other topics in the areas of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. See you next week.